Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here. Welcome back to Age of Empires Online. And today, well, summer event is here. Yay! So yeah, we got summer event going on right now, and with that, of course, we got a few changes, some new things, and so on, so on. So let's get to the changes first and see what happened. So yes, we got some patch notes. Again, everything will be in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. So yeah, changelog, summer event 2024, content preloaded. The event will go live on the 22nd of July 2024. As you can see, that was today. And for me, it was like 2 a.m. So you can see it's already going on for some time. But unfortunately, I don't have time these days to make this just on time. I was thinking if I should do it, but then we would be missing like the content from the event. So yeah, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit late with this video, but it's okay. So hopefully you did not miss your first day. Hopefully you still have time today, but I guess when the video is uploaded it will be late, so sorry for that, but it is what it is. But yeah, you definitely could see the notifications on the Discord. Okay, moving on. As you can see, a lot of nothing. UI updates. Made several description text inconsistency fixes for advisors. Okay, don't know about those, but whatever. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the Roman civilization started incorrectly in H3 instead of H2 in some champion mode quests. This is something I have reported. There were a few quests. Not sure if all of them got fixed. So if you see any of those, like, hey, you play as Romans, you should be H2, not H3, yeah, definitely report it, because definitely there could be some more, but we don't want Romans to have even more advantage in champion mode quests. Okay, so yeah, definitely report that if you find any of those quests. Fixed an issue where Babylonian sappers did not correctly have their train time reduced via the conditioning upgrade in champion mode. Well, that's a bad thing. Okay, but that's fixed. Fixed an issue where some of the items from the heroic Spartan vanity set did not correctly display their 3D models. Okay, some nice fix. Definitely you don't want your expensive vanity to look something like you could buy for just few empire points. Definitely you don't want to see that, so definitely a good fix. Fixed an issue where the Greek civilization did not spawn with the correct gear set in city defense and city conquest quests. So this is from the last changes to the city conquest where the devs changed the unit roster for the Greeks. You know, it went from Spearman, Toxotes, and Sarisophoroi to Hippaspist, Peltast, and Prodromos. And because of this change, the AI did not have any gear, so this is the fix for that. Oh boy, I would expect this to be checked in the first place. Like, if you play against that safe, that you just make sure they have the gear. But yeah, these are all the changes. So yeah, we are gonna move on to the summer event, which is the big thing. So yes, summer event 2024, like I said before, the link to this blog will be in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. So yeah, I'm not really gonna read this because I really want to be done fast with this video. So yeah, hello, the summer event is here. Blah 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 blah. So limited time only. Yes, event vanity and consumables, everything you can wish for. So how to access Marcus Pollux, I'll show you in a second how to do it. So Marcus Pollux, get a quest, go to Rakotis, there you have it, finish the quest, and bam, you got the quest there. Note, you need to be level 10 to get the access to the event content. So if you want to play those minigame quests, then yes, you need to be level 10 at least. Then we got the summer event login gift, as you can see what you can get. So summer points, materials, gear, and also like chests, as you can see. So definitely look out for the pieces of gear you want. I'll talk about them in a second, but yeah, you can see you can get the sets light spear, this week, and then the sandals. Next week is gonna be the planing and the cloth armor. Then it's gonna be scepter and the Ishtar's Wine. Then the sword, plating again, the armor, and the Raz hammer of the solstice. Okay, so yeah, event exclusive gear. So this year, if I'm not mistaken, all of the pieces of summer event gear are back. All of them, if I'm not mistaken. I tried to count them all, and I believe that there is 19 and 19 in total in the game, so that should be all of them. So let's talk about them. So we have first the craftable ones. You know, you gather these materials, the 5 materials. For some reason, there's just so many of them, okay? But the only reason there is that many, hey, it's because so you play the mini games as much as possible. While if you play the legendary quest, it's kind of annoying because you get the same amount of all of them. So it's mainly because of the mini games, I feel like, because otherwise that could be just one single material. 5 is just taking too much space. But yeah, you gather these materials, then you go to the quest giver in Rakotis. I don't remember his name, but he's there. It's not Sesostris anymore, remember that? It's not Sesostris, it's, I think it's the Magi guy, whatever, the guy with the scepter, or whatever he has. He's there, okay? You just look at the minimap, find the exclamation marks, and can't miss him. So yeah, you will need like 15 for the first 3 items, 25 for the next 2, then 35 for the next 2, and then 45, and the 45 one should be repeatable. So once you reach this one, it should be like 1 item every 3 days for 45 materials, which is quite expensive. So what I recommend, of course, is try to switch between sieves and get the items across all the sieves, so you save as many materials as possible. So you could like spend, let's say, 3 times 15 on Greeks, and then you can switch to, let's say, Celts and spend 3 times 15 there. Okay, so that way you are most efficient about your materials cost. Now about the items. So what are we getting there from the craftables? So we have the rudder for your navy. This is giving you movement speed, reduced cost, and reduced training time. Very good item. I think where you can use it is namely fishing boats. You can use this on merchant transports as well. You could also put this on your arrow ships if you are mainly using them early. So if you want just like some cheap, fast trained arrow ships early on for some early defense, this can be a good item as well for them. So, but yeah, namely the economy naval units, so fishing boats, merchant transports, it's very good item for those 2 units. Arrow ships, if you wanna some early defense, like improve your, to get as many as possible for the lower cost. If you went for the efficiency, it would be the Haddad's hull. So you have more damage, more HP, but it would be higher cost. This one is like lower cost, lower training time, so that means you will get more ships, and that can be good for you early on. But later it's gonna be worse because you won't have the efficiency. So yeah, definitely good economy units, arrow ships early on, early in the game. Then we have the cloth armor that's giving you cavalry armor and a little bit of movement speed. This one I'm mainly gonna recommend on the Celtic and Norse spearmen. Obvious reasons, because they are anti-cavalry units, so this is gonna improve them against cavalry units really well. So when they are fighting, let's say, elephants, and you just get this armor, it's definitely gonna help you a lot. And the other units would be the Persian Sparabara or the Babylonian shield bearer, because those 2 are tank units. So if you want to focus more on the cavalry damage reduction, then this is gonna be great cloth armor for them. So definitely I can recommend it there. If you feel like somewhere else, you could try it. Like, nobody's stopping you from putting this, let's say, on long swordsman and then just be protected from the enemy cavalry. You can do that, but it's, in my opinion, it's not gonna be the best item in that situation, but it can be okay to use. Next one we have, I think, Ashur's arrows. So these were changed. Originally these had damage, maximum range, and the buildings bonus damage. These were changed last year, I believe. For instead of building damage, they do extra cavalry damage. So it's arrows of darkness, but with cavalry damage instead of the infantry damage. So where you could use these arrows, obviously mounted archers, since you want them to counter the enemy cavalry mainly. So that can be that. In some situations, if you're dealing with a lot of cavalry, it can be good as well, but I still feel like it's better to go with the piercing frost arrows, because a lot of the cavalry units have some good pierce armor. So it will be better to just go with that, and with the amount of pierce armor that the cavalry units have, like the piercing frost will just give you more. Plus the ignore armor is working against other stuff, not only cavalry but also buildings, infantry, and God knows what. So it's gonna be definitely a lot better in general. So if you ask me, I don't really recommend it that much, but you can definitely grab 2 of those for your mounted archers for Persians and Babylonians. Then we have the joints, which are reducing build time and giving you train research rate, if I remember correctly. So this is like alternative for, let's say, the Athenian manuals. If I had to say where to put this, it would be good on, I would say, tech building. So armory, it could be okay on the Greek Academy, Bard Hall, these kind of structures where you can like get them up and running faster, plus get the research done faster. It's, I will not say it's necessarily the best, but it's okay to use. Then you can also put it on your military structures, so barracks, stables, and archery ranges. It kind of makes sense to me, because you want to build those structures as soon as possible and start producing the units as soon as possible. And I would say it's definitely more viable than putting this on town centers. Definitely do not put this on town centers. You want the manuals for your town centers, because you have limited number of town centers, and so you have limited production of villagers, so you want to produce them as fast as possible. So definitely not on the town centers. Manuals are better for that. This is more for the military structures, because you're not limited by the number of military structures. So the sooner you build them, the better. The sooner you can start the production, and then you also can produce the units faster thanks to the train research rate. Now the question is, do you want to sacrifice the train research rate because from the manual because of the joints? Because I feel like if you do that, or I should say, you don't really need the build time reduction, because you can just put multiple villagers on the same structure and it will be built a lot faster. Or you can just spread your villagers, and yeah, sure, but the villagers also are getting the tools, so usually Kavek or Divine Hammer of Construction, so they will build already faster. And I feel like 8%, sure, it's some number, but it's not like something big, so I would not really go into it when I can put multiple villagers on the structures. But if you want some really good recommendation, I would say Egyptian fortresses. I think in that case it's okay, because fortresses take a long time to build. So even if you put like 4 villagers on them, it's definitely gonna be worth. So I can recommend it there. Otherwise, I just feel like it's gonna be tech buildings from my point of view. You just wanna build them as soon as possible. You don't really need the train research time that much, but it's definitely useful there as well. But yeah, otherwise, I just don't feel like the joints would be too necessary. But it's okay. If you feel like it's good, then yeah, go ahead. Then we have the bow, which is the damage movement speed. So if you want some ranged units to move faster, usually players will go for maximum range. So most likely you will not use these bows, but if you want some suggestion, I would say something like the mounted archers again, because hey, they have shorter range, so instead of like trying to attack from a distance, you just get close enough, you attack and then run away, and then movement speed is gonna help you with this, with the kiting. So it's definitely useful for them. You could also say like, let's say Babylonian chariots as well, because instead of like focusing on the range, you could just focus on their speed, make them like kite the enemy units. But since it's better to just go with the range, because then you can outrange practically anything, so it's an idea. But you could also put this on the Persian war wagons, because war wagons can use the extra speed. And if I remember, the war wagon advisor Xerxes, I think it is now improving their maximum range as well. So I feel like you could sacrifice the range from the bow and just put this one there for the movement speed. That should be fine. Next, we have the two gauntlets. I don't remember which one's which. One is for the cavalry, which I think is this one, and the other one is for the infantry damage. So just like Master Assassin's gauntlets, but these have more damage, but against specific unit type. So for the cavalry one, I think it's this one. So I'm gonna say it's this one, and it could be otherwise, but who cares right now. If you go for the cavalry one, I would say put this on something like the spearman, because if you wanna like more focus against the cavalry for them, I would say it's okay to do that, but I still prefer to have some general damage for like the spearman only quest, so I can actually take out the enemy structures faster. Sometimes you see something else than just cavalry, so it can be good against the other units as well. So this one, if I would have to put this gauntlet on them, it would be just focus against cavalry, and that would be like the only purpose I'm training the spearman for. So it can be okay there. But other than that, I would say mounted archers. Again, I feel like mounted archers are just supposed to counter the enemy cavalry, and the more damage they do to them, it's just gonna be better for you. Just get in there, protect your lancers from the enemy horsemen, and you'll see what happens. So I would say that. And other than that, I feel like you can put this on a unit if you want to just counter cavalry with that unit like a little bit better. I had like really nice success with this in Invasion of Rome when I went Gastras only, because if I go range only there, you'll see a lot of Ekes there. There are so many of them. And so Piercing Frost plus this for extra damage against them, because legionaries are not a problem, let's be honest. Ranged units are not a problem, it's the Ekes that's the problem, because it takes quite a long time to kill one. Or I should say too many shots rather than long time. So it's just better to do more damage to them. So you can do something like that. That's also possible. And similarly with that, it could be with the infantry one, but usually infantry is a little bit easier to deal with. So it depends. But yeah, if I had to suggest this item somewhere, it would be like focusing against infantry for something that's already against infantry. So for example, the Babylonian bowmen, I think, is a good example for this. Just make them really heavy anti-infantry focus. That works fine for me. Other than that, you could try something like, let's say, Hypaspist with more anti-infantry focus. That's also possible. Although I feel like you don't really need it. Usually what I do with Hypaspist is like put the ballistas behind them, and ballistas can destroy enemy infantry really well. And if there is something that takes reduced damage from ballistas, that's where Hypaspist will do more than enough damage against them. So it's not such a big deal there. But it could be some other anti-infantry units. For example, let me think, like, could be throwing axemen, could be hard jars, could be Egyptian axemen, that's also possible. But again, once you get the catapults, it's there. So yeah, I'll leave that to you. But yeah, I think if you put this on like your early bowmen, so Babylonian bowmen, Persian bowmen, Greek Toxotes, those are possibilities where you can like make them more focused against the infantry, and so you have easier defense against the infantry. That's an option in my opinion. And then we have the shield. So that's the last craftable. This is giving you, I think, over 10% health, 3.9% damage, and I think it was like 2.9% movement speed. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this shield, but if you feel like you want the movement speed, I think that that's the only reason you should pick this shield. It is for the movement speed. I don't really see the reason to go with the highest health, because there's definitely shield with higher health, and then there are also shields that offer you some specific armor, and like the health loss is like so small that you won't really notice it on so many units. So I feel like it's just better to go with the armor than this slightly bigger amount of health. So that's my opinion. Damage, sure, it can be a little bit nicer, but if you want offensive shield, we have the Marduk's shield, which is pure offensive, and then there's Rostam, which is more offensive but also gives you some small amount of health, which feels a little bit better than this. So personally, I'm not a fan of this shield, but if you want some movement speed, it's fine to use it. So that's the craftable items. Then we have the items at the Rakotis general store. So first one is the sash for your scouts. And I believe this is the first year it returned, or maybe second year. I don't remember if it was last year. I think it was, because I feel like I got a sash somewhere. I don't remember where. But it might be second year. I think so, yeah. So this might be second year it's coming back. So where do you want to put this? Obviously scouts, and I feel like this is the one scout item you definitely want to get. You definitely want it because it offers movement speed, line of sight, and health regen all in one item. Now if you compare it to the newly added scout items, the legendary ones, and also the Lens of Menace, that's the item, the Lens of Menace, you will see that this item is definitely weaker than all of those free counterparts, but it's not like that much weaker in comparison to them, to be honest. I feel like this one offers like 50% line of sight, whereas the Lens will give you like 75-77%. So it is like difference, but you're training like this small amount for like, I think it's something like 20% movement speed, which I believe the movement speed item is giving like 27-28, something like that, and then like 6.5 health regen, something like that. I don't remember the exact values, but that should be something like that. So yeah, if you compare it, it's definitely weaker, but it's not that much weaker. So in my opinion, this is still the #1 item because it can help you on so many levels. If your scout is taking damage, the health regen kicks in. Line of sight, obviously great for scouts. The more you see, the faster you reveal. And movement speed will help you with that scouting as well. And in case you get too close to some dangerous, let's say, tower, the sooner you can get out. And the health regen will help you to survive the tower shots. So that's why I feel like this is the best scout item you can get. The others will offer you like stronger stats in one way, but in the other way, there will be like no buff at all. So if you ask me, I am gonna say this is the best scout item you can get. And the line of sight here is just more than enough, and the movement speed, health regen are definitely a great addition to this. So if you ask me, this is the best scout item you can get. I still feel like it is the strongest item in the game, like one of the strongest ones. Oh yeah, I definitely wish something could like go against it, but it feels too good, to be honest. Then we have the medium armor, and if I remember this is like 72% health. Then it's movement speed and critical hit chance. So I would say you want to put this on the units that, it's hard to say because the health is pretty cool, but there are definitely better defensive medium armors. Then the movement speed is definitely nice, and I don't think there's any like armor. I know there's like pure movement speed medium armor, but like medium armor that would give you health and movement speed, I don't think can't think of any. I can't remember. I don't think there's any like that unless it's like lower level. And then also some critical hit chance for extra damage. So definitely I would say, hey, you want to put this on a unit that you want to make move faster, it's definitely worth getting it. So my good experience would be like Celtic Champions, because their base speed is quite low, so any extra speed you can put on them is definitely nice. But then I also suggest going for something more offensive on their sword and like Sword of Tiberius. Okay, you go like Zahak or the Piercing Frost, or just pure damage, Celeste's Blade, whatever you have available to you, because the hell will just. Usually I go with Alexander Breastplate, and so if I switch to this, I am losing some good amount of damage. So usually I'm trying to compensate it there, but I guess for champions it's okay. Other unit, I would say, what's their name? Farbioders. Yes, Farbioders. It's a ram-like unit, okay? So it's like a battering ram, and rams are usually slow. So the movement speed there is definitely great. Same could be said about the Celtic ram. You can put it there as well for the extra movement speed. Then we have the ram head, and this one, before I would say it would be great on the ram ships, but because it was reworked, now it gives less damage than before. I think movement speed got a little bit buffed, maybe, I don't remember. And then portion of the damage got transferred into bonus damage against buildings. So instead of ram ships, I'm gonna say put this on your battering rams if you don't already have good ram head of Knum. That's what I'm gonna say. If you don't have the ram head of Knum, then definitely this is gonna be your best choice. And if you have this, you don't have to go for ram head of Knum, because this is gonna be really great. Ram head of Knum only if you wanna go for maximum damage against buildings. But if you don't have it, then this is great investment for you for your battering rams. Definitely worth getting there. But you don't have to, okay? It's up to you. But if you wanna have some good gear, then movement speed is really great for your battering rams. Making them move faster is great. And of course, Farbioders, again, combine this with the medium armor and then check that speed on them. Especially if you pick Titus H3 Advisor. They're gonna be very fast. Okay, and then we got the login rewards. So we have the sandals. I don't remember what, I think it was movement speed and health item for your priest. Now, I'm not really a fan of these sandals. I never found them like to be so worth for me to pick it up, because I'm thinking like health is nice if they are taking damage, and that's the thing, if they are taking the damage. If they are not taking damage, it's not really needed. And to be honest, if they were taking damage, I would rather have the Zahak's Idol than this item, because then they get health regen, and so when they are taking damage, they are healing the damage. Especially if I would say if they are taking damage, they are too close, and usually that's the case for the healers. So like Priestess of Ra, Druids, and Clinicus. So in those cases, I would say it's better to have the Zahak's Idol, and then they can also heal each other. So that would be the case. For most of the converting priests, it's definitely not the case. So yeah, I would say you don't really need the health, but you also don't really need the movement speed that much if you keep the front line ahead of them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this, but if you find this useful, could be okay to give this a try. Then we have the light spear. Now this is damage, really good health, and some movement speed. So this is gonna be great for your tank units that where you want to put a lot of health and then also make them mobile a little bit. So if I had to recommend something, it would be like Sparabaras, shield bearers, could be elephants, could be hoplites, these kind of units, because they can use the health, goes really well with their armors. Movement speed definitely helps them. If you lose the units, then with the movement speed, the reinforcements will get there faster, so it's definitely great for those units. So those are my suggestions there. It's definitely good spear, so definitely you want to log in and grab the There's only one, right? Yeah, that's unfortunate. So try to get that one. Okay, then we have the scepter. I think this scepter was focused on the healing part of the priestesses, so it would be movement speed, healing rate, and cost, if I remember correctly. Whew, I did not check that out. I should have checked it out. Well, whatever. But yeah, if you want more support priestesses, then this is your scepter. Other than that, let's just go the scepter of the pharaoh, because straight up, it is better. So if you want to try this for some support priestesses, I would say it's okay if you're going the amulet instead for the empower, and then the scepter can be changed to this, so you focus more on the healing. Amulet will help you with the healing as well, so I would understand it there. But still, I hate Amulet. Okay, don't do that, please. She's too strong. God dang it. Nerf that. Nerf her already. Okay, Ishtar's plating. So this one is damage and bonus versus buildings. This is definitely gonna be better against buildings than the Heavy Destroyer Weave, is it called? I think that's the pure damage plating. So it's definitely better against buildings. So where I would recommend would be like the siege boats, so you know, ballista triremes, catapult triremes, mangonel galleys, these kind of units. Could be also the Eneris, but I feel like Eneris is also anti-navy, so that's where it's gonna be somewhat bad. But if you want more the entire building focus, then yes, for Eneris it is possible as well. So that's my recommendation. If you want the high damage Palintorons against buildings, then yes, it is possible as well. But Palintorons are just straight up better with the maximum range, okay? But it is okay to use this as well. And you could probably use this on like ballistas, catapults, and onagers, but I just don't recommend it. I feel like it's better to just make them better against units. They already do more than enough damage against buildings. I feel like there's no need to make it even higher. So yeah, siege boats, palintorons if you want the high damage on those units. That's what I suggest. Then we have the cloth armor, another one. This one is for the ranged, anti-ranged units. This one offers, if I remember, damage, bonus against ranged, and pierce armor. So yeah, definitely something you want to put on anti-ranged units, especially ranged, because pierce armor is there, but it's not gonna help your melee unit survive. So you want to put this on like skirmishers, slingers, peltasts, if you want to make them heavy focus against ranged units. So yeah, definitely no skirmishers, and pretty much almost any slinger that you can think of can use this cloth armor. Except the Celts, of course. Celts are not using cloth armors, remember that. So there's that. Ishtar's fine. This is, if I remember, movement speed and the training time reduction. So it is an alternative to like, what is this, the Delian Hood for the highest movement speed. It's like, you want to produce your caravans faster, but also you're making them more efficient. So it's like between the Nebuchadnezzar Swine and the Delian Hood. So you're not getting the high movement speed of the Delian Hood, so definitely you will not get the most efficient caravans in the late game. And with Nebuchadnezzar Swine, you definitely don't get the fastest production. But I feel like you don't really need Nebuchadnezzar Swine on your caravans, to be honest. That's what I feel like. So what I would suggest is, hey, just pick, if you're going for like 1 or 2 markets for spamming your caravans and you want to produce them faster while also trying to make sure you have enough gold, then this is really good for you. If you just want the highest efficiency, then yeah, just go straight out the Delian Hood. If you want them just to get out as soon as possible, then the Nebuchadnezzar Swine. This is more like something in between. But if you go with like 3 or more markets and you just spam caravans from there, yeah, just go straight for the Delian Hood. I think that's gonna be better option than this one, because you will have like 3 production lines. You don't need that little small amount of train time reduction. So that's my opinion. I like this because I usually go like 1 or 2 markets, so this wine is really working well for me, and then I also get the efficiency. Nebuchadnezzar's wine does not offer you the late game efficiency, so there's that. Nebuchadnezzar's wine is best early because you can get the caravans out as soon as possible. This is more like the middle round, which is like good early and good late. And the Delian Hood is the best late game once you have the big amount of caravans for the highest gold income. So there's that. If you want it, hey, it's a good item for caravans. For villages, I don't recommend it. I don't find movement speed that good on villages, to be honest. Could be used on engineers. That is also possible if you want to like produce your engineers faster, which could like counteract the hammer a little bit. That could be an option. You can do that. It's possible. But yeah, moving on. Then we have the sword. This is damage, pierce armor, and the bonus versus ranged. So before it was without the pierce armor, and I was like, this sword offers you really great damage against ranged units, which you don't need. And it still is true, but the pierce armor is definitely useful. But I feel like sacrificing the damage, health of Tiberius, or health regen of Zahak, or just pure damage in general feels not worth it for me to go with this sword. I feel like if I wanted the defensive stats, I go just straight for Tiberius. Like the health is so huge, it works against everything. Plus I get the better general damage, which works against everything. This is just heavy anti-ranged unit. And I just feel like there is no unit that I would want to put this on. Like the only units that come to my mind would be like Asabaras and the Norse Raiders, but it's like they already counter ranged units so well. I don't see a reason why I would want this. Why? It just does not make sense. I don't like this sword. If you find this sword useful, that's good for you, but I just don't find it that useful. Last is the hammer. And you know, I was always critical about the cost of the hammer before, and last year it finally turned into the login gift. So yes, if the last week if you want the hammer for your engineers, then you need to log in 7 days in a row in the last week. Yes, this hammer is straight up going for engineers. Don't you ever dare to put this on villagers. Why? This hammer offers you increased health, increased movement speed, increased construction speed, but also increased training time. And this is where it's really bad, because for villagers it's not good. You want to produce the villagers as fast as possible so you have the resources, and the training time is going against you very hard. You don't want to do that. This is for your engineers. You won't really train that many engineers. Like usually what I do, I use the starting one as much as possible, and that's where the construction speed is very good. But the movement speed is also great, because now the engineer can move between 2 places and it's gonna take him a lot less time. It's definitely great for engineers. If I want to add extra engineer, usually I do it once I'm done with the production of villagers. But if I want to, I could add like 1 engineer, and it's more than enough for me to build my structures. I'll be honest, like 1 extra engineer is more than enough. So I feel like the training time lost there is not that huge if I get the value of the engineer there. So 100% you want to get this for your engineers. If you already have Divine Hammer of Construction or your engineer, you don't have to get it. But I'm just gonna say this is really great for engineers. I'm not saying like you should sell the Divine Hammer. If you feel like you don't like this hammer, that's okay, you can always switch it back. But yeah, this is definitely 100% the engineer hammer. Okay, of course, that's all of the items. So moving on, we have, yes, minigame quests, legendary quests, PvP with those global quests, so you can get extra rewards, of course, gear vanity gear, of course, city decorations, exclusive capital city decoration, Snappy the Summer Crocodile. You can buy this at the summer store, or Rakoti store I should say. and get yourself a snappy for your home city. Quest spotlight. So, Can't Take the Heat, we know this one from previous years. Egyptian Eviction, we know this one from previous years. Nubians in the middle, that's from the last year. Prince in Denial, Magi's Bounty, these are from the last year. So 2 new legendary quests. We have the False Promises, 1 quest right there, and then we have the Beckoners of Chaos. So we have two new legendary quests. You can definitely look forward to some videos about these once we take a look at them. If you want me to play some specific civ for these quests, hey, you can just ask nicely in the comments. I'll consider it. I don't really care, to be honest. If I have to go, I'll do it even as Persians if needed. So yeah, if you want me to do it as Persians, I'll do it as Persians. If you want Norse, I'll do it as Norse, whichever you like. So yeah, choose wisely, okay? And then of course we have the mini games back. So most of these, there's no new minigame if I remember. So Wonders Under the Sun, yes, that's the defense of the Wonder, similar to the Lots of Rogues. Snappy the Crocodile, Snappy visits his family, that's the micro quest. Going real fast. Stolen Sunshard, this is the one where you need to destroy fortress fast. Back in Big Trouble, this one I believe was last year added, so it's like the tower defense minigame. Okay, moving on. Summer event quest givers. Well, where do we find these quests? So there's the Magi Tumbal, that's his name. So you'll find him, that's where you will find the legendary quest and where you will craft the items, and also some global quests. Then we have General Seneb with the minigame quests, and then of course the wanted board where you will get extra points for killing the summer event camps. You know it, the elephant camps are back, which is annoying, but it is what it is. They're back and you can get some extra points for them. Then you can of course kill huntables. What is it? Wolves, bears, boars, elephants. These kind of huntables, if you kill them during the quest, you can get some extra summer event points. Usually I don't kill enough of them, like I pick like 1 reward from these, so for me it's not that many. But if you want to hunt for some easy summer event points, it's possible. And of course you can turn in your materials, the epic ones, and this year newly we can also turn in the legendary materials. And these are very, I'm gonna say, these offer you a really huge amount of summer event points. So if you have some spare legendary materials, or you are not in rush for the new legendary craftables, then you can trade these materials for summer event points. For a full 100 stack, you will get 9,000 summer event points. That is huge. Once we get into the game, you will see how huge this is, because this will give you so many items if you use this. Okay, PvP quests, we don't care about these, but yes, you can earn some materials and on in the PvP as well. For that you have the war commander there. So yeah, quest in Sparta PvP, remember, try not to like abuse it, okay? So don't go AFK or anything like that, just play normally, okay? The devs are not taking it lightly if you do something like that, okay? Remember that they are very, very hot. What's the word? Strict. Yes, they are very strict about this. Yes, and if you see anyone, yes, report him. Come on. You can see it here. We monitor Sparta activity very closely and will deal with exploiters promptly. This is especially true during events, so yes. Okay, some frequently asked questions. You can get everything by playing PvP or PvE. Summer points, that's the specific currency for the summer event. So you play the summer event mini games or legendaries, complete the global quest, you will earn the summer event points, which you can then spend in the Rakota store for stuff. And how long the event? So started today, July 22nd, will last until August 26th. So you have 5 weeks, as you could see, for the login rewards. So 5 weeks of event for you. Thanks for reading, blah 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 blah. Okay. So that's all for the event. Now let's move on to the game. Okay, we're still in the game, that's good. So yes, you get into the game, find Marcus Pollux, Empire Bazaar, remember this. You can see the icon for Marcus Pollux. Because I know people were like confusing, when I was talking about Empire Bazaar, they were looking at the Empire Store. Remember, there's a difference between those two. Bazaar is where Marcus Pollux is, and the Empire Store is where you buy the Empire consumables, which you don't buy actually.
Let's
okay?
make a deal.
Okay, so Marcus Pollux, here's your quest, City of the Sun God. You accept it. Here you have the pop-up. Summer event, City of the, and here you can just click it and we'll go to Rakotis. And I don't remember if Rakotis is, when Rakotis is actually available to you. Is it like whenever or after level 40 maybe? Usually, but during the summer event it should be available to you. So yeah, it will send you here to Celeste, you know, the legendary quest here. You'll take this, you'll accept, complete this. Psychosaurus is no longer part of this, okay? It's still leading to him, but he's not part of it. So, setup right there with the mini games. You can see like some of these are giving you a lot of summer points, but also some of them are taking a little bit of time. So yes, if you're playing the mini games mainly, you can still earn a good amount of summer event points. Next one is the Magi. Where are you?
It is my pleasure.
So here you will find the legendary quests. We have the 3 from last year and then the 2 new ones. Then 1 global for the co-op quest for extra points, 1 for the repeatable elite or legendary quest. Remember, you just need to complete 1 of these and you will get the extra points. Then you have 1 global for completing legendary quests, where you will get 1 extra material of your choice. So remember, there's choose 1, so you'll get 1 of these, but mainly you will also get some summer points. Good for you. And then we have the relics of the solstice. So here you will get the items. Again, it's choose 1. You can see 15 of each material, and then you just choose 1 of these. So yeah, bow, you can see damage, movement speed, yeah, build time, train research rate, and so on and so on. Yeah, this one is the infantry, the red one, the one that is more red one. Yeah, rudders, cavalry armor, shield, health, damage, movement speed, 2.4% movement speed. I said 2.9 if I remember, so it's slightly less. And then of course Ishtar for cavalry damage. So yeah, if you want those items, you can always get them. And then we have the bounty. So here you have the huntables that you kill. So wolves, bears, boars, lions and crocodiles, elephants. Then we have the basic epic materials. You can see, you can trade them. Then we have the camps, the elephants. So we have the armored ones, the archers. Advanced materials, so we have the epic ones, and then we have the legendary ones. And if we take a look at the legendary ones, each one of them 9,000 summer points. That's huge. Now at the Rakotis store, so you can see Sat Sash. I mean, you literally turn in 200 of those materials, 1 Sat Sash is already yours. Ram head as well. Brass armor as well. So if you have a lot of materials, you turn them in, you can easily get your first items right there, no problem. And I don't think these are limited by a level, so you can just purchase them and keep them until you're level 40. So really good for you. Of course, you can also purchase the summer event chest, which I believe became cheaper than from previous years, because if I remember, the large ones did cost like 240 summer points, which was a huge amount. Oh my god, too expensive. Okay, so definitely they are much more affordable for you. As you can see, if you just trade in one full stack, you will get like 90 of these. That's pretty good value, to be honest. Of course, summer event vanity if you want it. Remember, I made a video about vanity, so if you don't know about vanity, you definitely want to check it out. Then we have the Library of Horrors. This one you don't really need it, because the main reason to get this now would be for the city decoration. But if you want it, then you will have the quest giver available there, and you can play the summer event legendary quest from the previous years. Now, the free quests from the last year are there available as well. So if you like those a lot, you still have the archived version there in the Library of Horrors as well. So you can play those twice on the same save if you want to. Now, of course, you don't have to get the Library of Horrors. Remember, we have the visiting other players' cities. And if you know a player who has the Library of Horrors in their city, then you can visit him or her and just accept the quest there. So there's that. Just don't forget to give the quest there as well. I don't know how it works for the other cities, okay? Yeah, remember to visit the other players if you need to get the rewards from the quest. Okay, here's the Snappy. Yeah, it's a decoration, and if you have noticed this, maybe not, but there's a Snappy right there next to the board. So here it is, what it looks like. Then we have the Temple of Apophis. Again, it's a decoration, so you don't have to get it, but hey, if you want to get it, then it's, I would say, pretty nice decoration. Newly this year, for this year's event, special ability Magnificent Fury. This is one of those consumables which I believe you get when you create a Sith, and you get to choose one of the three. So this one was the only one that you could not get in any way. The other two you can get from the other two events, but this one was not available. So newly this one has been added to the summer event at the store. So you can purchase this for the summer points. So if you want the consumables, it's your choice. You have this available to you. And then of course we have the other consumables as well, which are the epic versions of what you usually buy here. So just better versions. And there's that. That's all I have to say about summer event. My recommendation is play the event. Whatever quests you like. You can play the legendary quest if you're fast enough. If not, play co-op if you can, or if you want to, and you will get more than enough of those materials. Like if we take a look, let's say the False Promises, the new one, you will get what? Yeah, 4 of each. So if you play like 4 times false promises, you will get 1 item. So 4 items, you should be able easily to get enough for crafting.
Must go now.
That should not be a problem. You just need to play a little bit, okay? For the store, of course, it's better to trade in the materials. So if you find legendary items, you don't want to use them, then remember, Dismantler in Rome is there available to you. You'll get a lot of materials from there, even epic items. You definitely can dismantle the epic items, get the epic materials, and then trade those in. If I remember, the advanced materials are 1500 summer points, so it's still worth it, but you need 500 of those, okay? But yeah, if you dismantle a lot of epics and legendary items, then you will have more than enough epic materials to trade them for the summer event points. So definitely try to utilize the Dismantler as much as possible if it's available to you. I don't remember if it's available to you before level 40, to be honest. I don't know if it's available to you, to be honest, buddy. If you play enough mini games, you should be level 40 soon enough, and then you will be able to dismantle the epic items. So whatever. So yeah, Dismantler is there. Anything else? I don't think I forgot anything. Yeah, don't worry about legendary quests, of course. The minigames are also quite rewarding, but you need to like try to play as many of these as possible because they have like different material rewards.
See you around.
But if you complete them all, you should have the same amount of all of those, so that should not be a problem. So yeah, that's all from me for now. So tell me what you think in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video, press that like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to play enough of the summer event quests to earn your rewards. It's definitely good for you because easy legendary items if you can play enough. And you can see it's not that many quests to get like one item already. So yeah, enjoy the summer event, and yeah, hopefully soon we'll see again. We'll see each other again with the new legendary quest.
Glad to assist.
This was Psychosaurus. I'll see you next time. Bye.